What's up, Marvel fans? It is Thor's Day, so you know what that means. It is time for the FOMO show, MCU edition. Tonight we are talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. And we've got some Marvel Cinematic News teasers, speculation about what's to come for you, so please don't go anywhere and don't miss out. This is the FOMO show. Alright guys, I am Dylan.
I'm Quinn. Hi, I'm Quinn.
Serious slow-mo. Alright, so thank you guys for watching, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Trovo, Twitch, whatever. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you know when we drop new videos, when we go live, and all that fun stuff. Definitely hit the like button. That does a lot for the channel. I mean, just as a personal favor, thank you. Appreciate that. Also, yeah, thanks for any other support that you decide you want to give us. Dang it, I keep freezing our account. I'm gonna have to reset the whole thing here. But anyways, yeah, I'm just joking about that. You can go on there and you can give us a little tip if you like. Buy us a cup of coffee or something. But yeah, don't forget to. Phlegm caught in my throat. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. Yeah. So, special notes. Man, it's been a rough day for me. I get migraines periodically, and this morning I've had one for a couple days, and I've been taking medicine, keeping it at bay. But it just every once in a while, the medicine and the heating pad and all that, then the cold, the heat, and all that stuff doesn't work, and you just gotta crash. And so I had to take enough medicine to knock it out, and it knocks me out too. And
that's how she wrote.
So I'm just working everything, so I'm just kind of. Whew, I'm here. Whew. Yeah. So yeah, you just guys, stay away from monkeys and whatnot out there.
Yep. Make sure
I keep saying that, but it's still a thing.
Still a thing.
And COVID apparently is still.
COVID's out there. Yeah.
Good God help us. We had somebody in our office catch COVID, and so we had to wear masks again today. Luckily, I wasn't there, so I didn't have to go back to that. But yeah, if you feel like you need a mask, wear a mask and all that. More power to you. Do what you gotta do.
Most def.
Stay healthy and all that jazz. Anywho.
All right.
I may or may not go off on tangents because brain is glitchy today.
Well, we'll squirt you with water. I don't know. All right. If you haven't left now, I'm kidding. I can't.
You just pulled that one out of left field, bro.
If you haven't left now, this is your final chance because this is your spoiler alert. In this episode of the FOMO Show, we will be talking about the newest episode, the premiere of She-Hulk. If you haven't watched this, wait, no, other way around. If you haven't watched that, pause this, go watch that, and then come back. You have been warned.
Oh, my bad. I missed the cue there. Oh yeah, so what did you think about the episode there, Quinn? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to?
Yeah, I got it. I can go ahead and do it.
What it is?
Episode 1. Well, season 1. Episode. Will it be a season 2? Fine. Episode 1. A normal amount of rage. Jen Walters. Jen Walters' world is turned upside down after a freak accident leaves her with superpowers.
As it happens.
As it happens. Haven't had one of those in a while.
Only every new show.
I would rate this show, this first episode so far.
I'm sorry, why are you thinking? Will you hand me that Marvel Encyclopedia? Just in case I forgot. We may or may not need it.
Here you go. All right.
I knew we were missing something on it.
I would give this show, contrary to probably every other person on the planet, maybe besides Mark Ruffalo, a 10. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. I also thought that it was pretty damn good. There are some detractors out there who are normally on board with Marvel stuff, but I think they're just not used to what it is yet.
Yeah.
Is what I'm like. This is like this type of humor and type thing is kind of like, I don't think they're ready.
No, they're not ready.
I'm also gonna say a 10 because I thought it was very well done.
Yeah.
I thought that it felt like a catch up to Phase 4 that we've been desperately needing. Where's everybody? What's going on with like our OG characters, I guess? While still introducing and being connected to and introducing new characters, which is how we did things back in the Infinity Saga, back in my day.
back in the old days.
I mean, I don't feel like during the Infinity Saga there was as much blowback with new characters as there is now.
Because it was always. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Because back then, especially when everything was starting, really rolling out, when a new character showed up, it was always like, a little bit of excitement to it, and stuff wasn't as, stuff leaked back then, but it wasn't, the channels of information weren't as heavy flowing as they are now, and I feel like that also has like parts to do with it as well. But yeah, no, every time like a new character pop up, you'd be like, yay, this is amazing, unless it's freaking Crimson Whiplash, which, it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. And you know what? Real quick, the 3 Iron Man movies, they grind my gears a little bit. Like the first one was fine. It was great. Loved it. The second one, it was cool until found out he was Whiplash and not Crimson Dynamo, and I was like, why? You said everything, that's fine, whatever. And then the third one, Mandarin. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna leave it at that, and all right. So.
Oh man. But
yeah.
RDJ saved it because he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no. The feel of this was like, and to do an origin story, was this episode like 30-something minutes?
You know what? I don't remember.
Well,
it was so much fun that I didn't really notice.
37 minutes.
Yeah.
To do a very good origin story in 37 minutes. They didn't give us any filler bits. They gave us the meaty chunks we needed.
Got right to the point.
Yep. The show, like, with her and Hulk sharing the episode together the entire time, it showed like the true differences between their powers and how she's just
back to what I was saying as well. Like in conjunction with that, it's like it feels when you've got Hulk and like an OG character and a new character, somebody we're comfortable with introducing a new character, it feels like a natural passing of the baton.
Yeah.
And so then they feel connected like they're part of the family and not just some left field whatever thing, out there. It's like, okay, how is this connected? Like Eternals, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I felt like it did that very well, and we got like the answer to what's up with Hulk's arm.
Yep.
And him turning back to Banner, all that at the end of Shang-Chi. So, I mean, I felt like it lifted, just like She-Hulk, lifted over her
Head expectations? I don't know.
her weight class, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
She punches over her weight class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Punches out.
Sorry, brain no worky today.
Okay.
Medication make me slow.
But yeah, it was a good. Overall a good episode on my end. A good episode for you. The major takeaway. Okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
The car accident. Yeah, was Go ahead.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the change of the origin story?
That fine, because I mean, it was either that or she'd be attacked by a villain and be on the verge of death, and he has no choice but to give her a blood transfusion or let her die.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like it's better.
Yeah.
Because of that, because of where Bruce is with. I mean, if you remember all the way back to the Incredible Hulk movie.
Which one?
Ed Norton,
Okay.
the one that's in the MCU.
Yeah.
That's a good point, though. I mean, we almost have more Hulks than Batman. I mean, nobody talks about that one.
Yeah.
It's like, we got so many Spider-Man, so many Batman. We got a lot of Hulks, too.
Hulk's sitting over there in the corner.
Speaking of OG Hulk,
Yeah.
David Banner, like the reason the TV show, I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but like the reason they called him David instead of Bruce is because they thought Bruce sounded too gay.
Ha!
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So like eventually they kind of just retconned it as him like, you know, oh, he was like changing his name so people didn't know who he was. He was on the run, you know. But yeah, I mean, plus that it's like there's a lot of callbacks to that as well. With like the first time he changed into the Hulk on the TV show and everything was he was having like car issues and he's trying to push his car and he freaked out, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was better because in the first Hulk movie, or the only Hulk movie that we have so far, he became aware that the man who would be the leader was synthesizing and multiplying his blood, trying to replicate it. Excuse me, and that's a big no-no. And also Stan Lee's cameo supposedly died because he had drank a drink with a drop of Bruce's blood in it.
Yeah. Oh.
And yeah, so his blood is very, very potent. And I mean, I feel like if there was a transfusion, like that's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
That might have had a more severe result. Than a couple drops hitting an open wound.
Yep.
Which I think kind of explains how she can control her powers better or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just that little drop. I mean, she has more control over her powers. She's got
like a diluted version almost.
Yeah.
But not in potency.
Not in potency. She got all
the benefits.
She got all the benefits, and she got bladed a little bit. She gets the abilities of both, but no drawbacks really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of explained with her being a woman. I mean, obviously this is going to be a very female-centric show, obviously.
Yeah.
Compared to Ally McBeal, which was a very female-forward show at the time that I wasn't even allowed to watch because in the 90s, it was one of those lawyer shows that came on like at 9, 10 o'clock, like later at night after prime time.
Oh.
But it was very risque, I should say. Like there's one scene that's a famous scene where it's, you know how Scrubs, like he has like these little moments in his head. She had those moments too, and so she was like kind of sitting, you know, being lawyerly, and sitting all professionally at the desk, and she's looking at this man, and she's just thinking about how she just wants to bone him, and she has this little moment in her head where she just literally just like jumps and sits on his face, just like jumps on his face, and so. Yeah, I mean, it you know, the director and the writers of She-Hulk have said that this is going to be a very horny forward show.
Yeah, I can feel it.
I mean, with her,
I can feel it with one line.
Yeah, who she is about this whole obsession with Captain America and his virginity, which I had to wear the Cap shirt today, Steve Rogers. So. Yeah, I mean, Captain America. Yeah, that scene, it's very, like some people may say, oh, they're ripping off Deadpool with the speaking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, but she did it in the comics in the 80s, long before Deadpool even thought about being a character.
Long before the rejection came of him. The rejection from DC of him then going to Marvel, yes. Long before that.
Whoa. Wade Wilson.
Talk about petty.
I know, right?
But, so, yes. I cannot talk either, apparently. But it did show something that was kind of interesting, because we don't often see, like, family members of heroes, besides, like, Aunt May. As well as Pepper doesn't count because she was like always there, didn't marry Tony till later. So yeah, we haven't like really seen like the family members of some of the heroes, and they have like that. I mean,
Tony's dad.
Also rip.
Yeah, I mean Tony's parents. I mean friends, not a whole lot of family. I mean outside of we saw Sam's family.
Yeah.
Sam Wilson's family.
And that was good too. I think like having
Bucky has no family.
Bucky has Sam.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, most of these characters are very solitary because of the nature of
of who they are.
Yeah.
T'Challa also doesn't count because he's a king.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How does he not count though? I mean,
because.
Like we're just gonna name everybody there is and say they don't count.
I mean, there are other because everybody else, but like not counting T'Challa. Like if you see their family is sometimes like mixed in with it. Well, Wasp, and you got the Pyms. Scott's family isn't, but his daughter was young. Who else?
Yeah, I mean, and she's going to be one of the young Avengers now, a stature.
Yeah. Shang-Chi, him and his sister.
Yeah. So I mean, there is.
There's family.
I mean, of course, the 10 Rings is a whole family thing.
Yeah.
They do get into the family drama a little bit. But
a little.
Some OG characters. Well. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and Thor's family.
They are all dead, Dylan. They have all
I know, but
died.
I'm just saying, like, a lot. I guess there are a lot of characters that we do see the family of, but not really cousins.
Not really.
More
cousins.
Immediate family.
Yeah. Fathers, brothers, mothers, but like to see like your cousin who doesn't have a powers, or you're just chilling with, it's really fun dynamic. It's good.
And not to mention we don't really have a whole lot of backstory for Bruce. I mean, we know that there's Betty that he was in love with. She was one of the scientists, and her dad is General Ross.
She said peace.
We may get some history, some mention of Betty in this season. We did get a mention of Bruce's trauma.
Yeah.
So to bring it all back around, one of the reasons why She-Hulk doesn't have an alter ego is because Bruce has trauma to the point to where when this happened to him, he literally got dissociative identity
yeah.
disorder, and there was somebody else on the wheel,
Ba-do-ba-do.
and it's so I mean, in a different route. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're right. So yeah, Bruce literally has. I mean, and they don't talk about it a lot, but he's got dissociative identity disorder, and that's why when he changes, he becomes a whole different person, a whole different identity.
Yeah.
As where Jen does not have that. She doesn't have that trauma. She's dealt with her experiences and her anger and all these emotional things in a healthy way. And
Yeah.
being a woman, having to do it day in and day out. And it's not just by virtue of being a woman. You know what I mean?
Something you have to like work.
Although
at,
there are some things that she
Yeah.
deals with that men don't deal with, obviously.
And then also, being a lawyer, you have to can maintain your composure, especially like in a courtroom. So, like somebody might, come up there and be like, "Your Honor, the opposition is
Keep going.
obviously trying to do something quickly, insane or something like that, or anything along those lines," and Dylan had to go blow his nose. There's a ghost here now.
The dog wanted in, so Riley was letting him in. My daughter
Okay.
let him in.
But yeah,
He's a big fan of Quinn, because Quinn brings him treats.
hi ghost.
Let me just show you a trick. All right, high five. Yeah. All right, there you go. That was a high 10, but we're not gonna be picky right now because we got things to talk about.
Yeah.
I know that you'd probably rather watch him do tricks the whole time, but
Dog videos be getting them views.
yeah, go back and watch our archives. They're in there. They're there.
They're there.
We've done them before.
But yeah, you have to maintain your composure in a courtroom. I rambled for like 2 minutes. That's what we do. So yeah, she definitely has it because she's been doing this for years. It's just something that's like added in, and then like you said, without that trauma, maybe this looks like what it would look like if anybody else got Hulk's powers. Because I mean, Abomination doesn't necessarily have the same problem.
And we'll get into him when he shows up in the series. Because now he can change at will.
Yep.
He seems to be like this self-help guru. So I mean, is he or isn't he legit? We'll see.
Yeah.
Working with Wong as well,
Yep.
Maybe Wong, brought him back from the dark side. I don't know. But also, what reminded me of that was you were mentioning all the other Hulks and everything, but there are also other versions of She-Hulk. And had we seen her at Infinity War and everything with Thanos, we may have seen Grey Hulk because with the loss of Bruce Banner and the stress of Thanos and everything, started to become
Grey Hulk, Grey She-Hulk.
Grey She-Hulk.
Which
And there is a red She-Hulk, but that's a different person entirely.
That's Betty.
That's Betty. Because old General Ross.
Keep it in the family, he says.
So I mean, we very much may likely see Betty Ross and General Ross in some stature, in some
Capacity?
Some capacity. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blah, blah, blah. We may see them return in some capacity. Not sure if it's going to be the same actress to play Liv Tyler to play Betty, but is it Betty or Betsy? It's Betty, right?
It's Betty.
Betty.
Ross.
I don't know why I'm thinking Betsy.
Because
Betsy Ross is a different.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. But William Hurt, who did play General Ross, has passed on. R.I.P. And so we'll see how that plays in, especially now that we can actually potentially start fleshing out the world of the Hulk, because there are rumors that the deal with Universal that kept us from getting more Hulk movies, because when the MCU was starting, Marvel didn't have its own studios per se. They were using other studios to make their movies, and they did. When they decided to do the MCU, they started with Iron Man and they made Marvel Studios. but they didn't have all of the rights and everything, and so Universal had made the Hulk movies previously, and they had the distribution rights, and that's why we haven't had a second Hulk movie, because Universal has the distribution rights. But it's rumored that that deal is going to end in the next year.
Ooh.
So there are rumors that a World War Hulk movie is on the horizon as soon as that distribution deal
10
ends.
years later.
Yeah. So, and that may play into why we saw a Sakaran class
ship,
vessel.
Yep. Just go. I'm like,
They caused him to run off the road.
yep. He said, "I'll look into that," which will be super cool. Yeah. World War Hulk is a very good storyline, which if they get a chance to do it, it'll be very fun.
But yeah, I mean, if what's going to trigger him, I wonder. Just the Hulk comes back and he's tired of being under Puny Banner's thumb,
Something, because I mean,
or the message
yeah.
from Sakaar. I mean, about his son, or potentially. I mean, potentially he did have a love interest, like in the comics,
and he has.
and she died or was killed. Okay, so I feel like we have to kind of explain World War Hulk now, because I think we're seeing the seeds of that.
Yeah.
If this is true, if this rumor is true that we're getting this. All right, so obviously we saw Thor Ragnarok. That was an adaptation of the which storyline was that called?
Which one?
With him on Sakaar.
With him, World War Hulk.
That was before World War Hulk. Though,
Oh, Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk. Okay.
Yeah.
Because when he got back to Earth, that's
Yeah.
when it became World War Hulk.
Yeah.
So yeah, Planet Hulk is when he was banished by the Illuminati. Everybody knows who the Illuminati is now because of
He was
Dr.
so pissed at Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
He was so pissed.
So yeah, and Reed.
And Reed.
So they rather than him going to Sakaar himself, like in the MCU, he was sent there because he was too dangerous by the Illuminati.
Yep.
And in this Illuminati, it also had Iron Man. So when he gets there, the ship crashes. And he's sold into slavery, almost just like in Ragnarok, and he becomes this gladiator. Yeah, this gladiator character. Except in the midst of that, he doesn't meet Korg. He meets other gladiators. Is Korg one of them? I don't think so.
No.
But
there's a rock person, but it's not Korg.
Okay. So yeah, he gets this following and this band of bandits and he finds a love interest. They have a
Beta
son.
Ray Bill.
He meets Beta Ray Bill. So that was kind of there was an Easter egg for that on like the wall of the champions and things. But we didn't get into his love interest, which may be a side story that they kind of get into to set up World War Hulk. But he finds out that the ship, the last thing he sees is an image of Reed telling him that they've banished him.
Yeah.
And so he is livid with Reed, and he's trying to find a way back. But that ship explodes, and it kills his wife.
Yep.
And a bunch of his buddies, I think.
Yep.
And so him and I think like his blood brother, like one or two more of them, I think, they find a way to get back, and they go bonkers on Earth.
On Earth.
Yeah. So we may get some kind of
adaptation
of that where,
except it's a different planet.
I think if they kind of retcon his trip to Sakaar, come to find out that somebody did like kind of program the route. Maybe it was General Ross.
I mean, maybe. Well, they would have to retcon it real hard because they were super like, yeah, we just found him floating out into space.
Well, I thought that he. Well, I mean,
he said he was on the Quinjet. He was gonna leave and never come back. And the next thing he knows, and he ends up here because remember the way you have to get to that was in wormholes. So
maybe General Ross or somebody like that, Fury. Yeah, right. Somebody had programmed the ship to just take him away just wherever, just out in space like space junk. And not necessarily to Sakaar, but then he finds out, you know, say he did have that side story where, and Valkyrie knows all about it because she was there.
Because she was there.
And maybe she could kind of fill in the details. She could be like the person that fills in the details when Hulk's rampaging.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, he had a wife.
Yeah.
And what happened? Somebody killed her. You know, through, you know, the ship or something happened.
Follow me just for a second.
Okay.
So he gets on Grandmaster's World. They're up there.
She-Hulk and we're Hulk.
You know,
this is the greater world of the Hulk.
He, you know, goes through the gladiator tournaments. He meets Beta Ray Bill. He ends up befriending Beta Ray Bill, befriending the woman who will become his wife. And then they do plot and escape. And they are like, you know, on the verge of escaping. They're about there, but everybody's cornered. And he knows he won't die, but they will all get killed. So then he makes like, all right, bet. You let them go. I'll stay as your champion until the end of my days. And then they all go off, get on the ship. Grandmaster's like, fine, you're my champion. Starts getting new round of so gladiators to come in.
Oh, and that's when we come into Ragnarok.
And that's when we come into Ragnarok.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, a lot could have happened before Ragnarok happened.
Because he said he was Hulk for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's a big backstory we can get into.
Yeah.
And they're bringing the message that something has happened, because the revolution that happened on Sakaar, potentially Grandmaster's not in charge anymore. He's in.
I thought he was dead. I don't know why I thought he was dead.
I don't remember at the end he was like, we did it.
Yeah, but getting back on She-Hulk, what they did with this episode, as far as like an origin, keeping it connected to a legacy character and like kind of giving us a little more into Hulk and really making sure we know who she is as a person, was really good. The montage was really cool. I mean,
him being jealous.
Him being jealous. Kind of yeah. You know, then having that bond, and you know, him saying the line of, "If you ever need anything, call me." It's like, all right, cool. See you in the season finale, Hulk.
All right.
So, but yeah, all that, and then he kind of gave probably a bit more of an insight to some other things involving being a Hulk, because he kept saying that, and that's what's like, you've obviously met more than one of you.
Yeah, they're alluding to more goings on. So like if this, because I mean they obviously have the rights to the Hulk and the Hulk characters. Universal doesn't own those, so they can sprinkle those throughout, and that's kind of what we've gotten is like Hulk story arcs throughout other films, right?
Yeah.
Ragnarok, whatnot. It just can't be called a Hulk movie, otherwise they have to go through Universal to distribute it, and that is lots of money that they don't want to pay for or lose. But if this ends, then we'll get a Hulk movie. But there's several things we didn't see play out. We haven't seen the leader, who is probably someplace just locked up.
Yeah. Because
the leader is a fascinating character. He's just as smart as the Hulk is strong. And
that's the whole shtick. Yep. That's their whole shtick. It's very funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could get into Red Hulk, and of course we have Abomination coming back.
Yep.
So, lots we can explore.
Yeah. The whole thing about them getting the drunk thing's very fun. I thought that was, you know, a neat little thing.
Yeah. And the backstory with Tony, and that was just all kind of heart-wrenching. It's like, poor Hulk, and all his friends are dead.
All his friends are dead. He had an Ultron bot, a helmet.
Yeah, I think it was like the Iron Legion or something.
Yeah, one of the Iron Legion.
Which became Ultron.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So it was, you know, there's some memorabilia kind of sprinkled in the house.
Yeah, somewhere in the back I saw a screenshot of it. There was like his car and helmet.
Oh. So, but yeah, and his arm's completely healed, which is
Yeah, because of her blood.
because she built different. So, and that's alludes to a lot.
Which is a fun dynamic because because the Hulk has always been a very sad, a tragic, solitary character.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you've ever seen the TV show, like, listen to the soundtrack. The song is so depressing. But She-Hulk is like a whole different. She's just like, I don't have that
At all.
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
Right. So one of the complaints that I'm hearing, I think like Heavy Spoilers was saying this too, but is that there's no story arc, and that she's already good at everything. So where do we have to go? Well, this is the false win. This is the very beginning where they're establishing her pride that is going to be crushed, and she has to, because we saw in the courtroom the very guy that she was trying to put away as a prosecutor, trying to say that he is just using his money and he's not responsible for any of the things that happen in the world because of what he's done and run around doing things with his money, and there's no responsibility, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy in the courtroom on the other side, right?
Yep.
He's also the guy that she ends up working for.
Yep. So, which is, and she's about to.
I mean, you saw his face when she transformed. He was like,
it's like
ching ching.
and she's fighting folks like nothing against Titania.
Oh, Titania.
Yeah, nothing against Titania. I knew I was gonna get it. It took me a second, but they had her. They didn't like really remix the character too much. That she was. If you look up Titania right now on Google,
does not look like the Ultimate Warrior.
It is. She's definitely got that '80s look though. Spandex came up in there. She did a goddamn Liu Kang flying across the stage kick, and I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. I love this.
Yeah. And it was purposely tongue in cheek. I mean, you've got the whole like looking at the audience, the wink wink thing. I love it. I think it's fun.
And she's racking up these wins. That's what's about to happen over these next episodes, because there's 9 of these. She's gonna be 8.
Yeah. Are there 9 episodes? I thought there was 8. I'll look it up while you talk.
Okay. However many episodes, she's going to be racking up these wins. We know in the Marvel TV shows about halfway through, there's always that flip where things kind of get turned on their head, and then we approach the climax and all that jazz. But even still, she's about to just start knocking things out one after another. Yeah, some things might change in her lawyer life and love life, but her superhero life will be...
Yeah, you're right, 9.
9? Cool.
9.
Superhero life will be on top of it, even though she doesn't want to be a superhero, until that day where she F's with the wrong person on the wrong day. And they say, oh, you think you strong, fam? Let me show you. That one didn't crack. Well,
that was a good crack, though.
Let me show you who I am. And then she gets Thanos. Because that's all it takes to wreck your confidence.
Yeah.
Whole clocks one time.
She's going to have to come back and say, okay, what do you know that I don't know? Because she doesn't get it yet. She doesn't get it. And she doesn't need to get it yet. But she's got to go through that valley before she can become who she's meant to be and all that fun stuff. So, as far as like each episode is going to be episodic, obviously like defending a different hero or villain throughout. Because right now, just like in the comics, she's a prosecutor and she's going to become a defender, a public defender, which is basically what Daredevil does.
But let's say, who else do we know is a public defender?
Who will show up?
Yep. She's in San Fran though.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So I mean, in the comics, it's fun. We've seen them together and everything. It's this fun dynamic, and and they even set it up in this episode where they were talking about like holding two opposing truths and being able to balance them, because as a hero, she's putting these folks away.
Yep.
But then her day job is defending them.
Yes.
And working for this man who is obviously not a good person.
Nope.
And having to be involved in all that stuff and be this public character on both sides of the aisle, where she's this dichotomy.
Yep.
And that's what makes it interesting. She's having to deal with all this back and forth. Like, both sides are creating problems and having to solve them because of the problems that each side creates.
Yep.
So it's going to be fun. I think so. And so what we're setting up is where they got the guy that's working there. We don't know why Titania showed up at this guy's hearing, potentially for good reason. And now She-Hulk just got up and whopped her, not knowing what's going on, and suddenly she's put herself right in the middle of it and created an enemy.
Create a whole enemy. Just because she said, "You see that floor? Your name is now Mop," and then took her and started mopping the floor with her. It was woof. Yeah.
So I mean, Titania might have had a good reason, because the head of the other law
Firm?
Other firm, thank you. What's the name of the firm? Is like W.
I forgot.
I don't know. But the initials are callbacks to Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and I can't remember somebody else, right?
John. What's JG? Maybe.
Yeah, it's like their original, their real names for C, and that's that guy.
Yeah.
So, and he's not that good a person, so she may be there to actually do something heroic, and now she just got her ass kicked by She-Hulk, and She-Hulk has become his defender before she even realizes she's defending a bad guy, and that's not where she wants to be.
That's not where she wants to be, but that's where she is now, or will be.
And we haven't seen that come to fruition yet. So first episode, great setup, I think. Lots of fun, set the tone, fourth wall breaking, and that's a whole other thing too, because like New Rockstars has an idea that has something to do with the breaking of the multiverse, and she's actually like looking into somehow through this power.
I mean, because she did, like, she looked and she's like, whoa. Like, she actually, like,
Yeah. Like the first, she did it without thinking. Then she looked again. She's like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah.
And even Bruce heard her and thought it was weird.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck is she looking at?
In no other show would we ever get that look from Hulk, though. It's like, what?
So, yeah, it's a lot. It didn't give us, like, too much information to play with, besides little Easter eggs here and there. But like you said, it was I feel like, perfect setup for this character, and I'm really excited for the rest of it. It's like Saturday morning cartoons, but on Thursdays.
Yeah. And since it's on Thursdays and our show's on Thursdays,
it's gonna be right after.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of a struggle to get off work, watch it, and then do this. But we're gonna make it happen.
We'll make it happen
for 9 weeks.
For 9 weeks. Oh, man.
So if it does happen where we're not able to, one of us or whatever aren't able to, we'll push it back another day or something.
Yeah.
But we'll make it work.
We'll make it happen.
Like we always do.
Always.
Except for that time where we just didn't do anything for a while.
Also,
a couple times.
there was a thing. I thought it was kind of sweet, but also like, so they were really bros. Captain America, at some point in time, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, probably Rhodey, Bucky, Falcon had a dude's night, and does everybody kind of just Tony, everybody just kind of like sat around.
Tony gets drunk and just complains.
Just complains. And they had a dude's night, and everybody, sharing stories and everything. Somebody, most likely, Rhodey. Just be like putting two and two together. Like, hey, hold on, wait. You got your powers here, and you were frozen here. Cap, just be real with me. It's okay if you are. I'm not gonna judge. Are you a virgin? Captain America then blushes and be like, listen here.
This had to be like later because at first he probably like, gentleman doesn't speak of these things.
Yeah. But yeah, and told everybody, and Hulk then, yeah, dang, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's stories are just disgusting.
Oh, yeah. I bet it was Tony. Be like, Cap, I gotta know.
I gotta know.
When have you ever, polished the old shield?
Yesterday morning, Tony. What are you talking about? No, not that shield cap. Then Thor blurts it out. He means. Oh. Dang. I want this short now. Oh.
Very, very man-centric there.
Yeah. Oh. Avengers, bro, night out.
Yeah. After shawarma.
After shawarma. So yeah, but Hulk's also not weak. I mean, I remember one of the complaints at Endgame is like Hulk seemed like he wasn't Hulk, because I mean essentially he wasn't, but like he wasn't. Yeah. He like it seemed like he didn't have his full strength or whatever. Yeah,
because I mean we didn't get a whole lot of hulking out, Rage Hulk and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And part of that is because we're getting him mixed in with other stuff. Technically we've only seen Smart Hulk once.
Yeah.
So I mean, or twice now.
Now twice.
And then Banner, but so I mean, for people to be complaining about, oh, Hulk, they nerfed Hulk, blah blah. It's like every other time he was like Hulk. You know what I mean?
Every other time.
It's like, I don't know. It's
Ragnarok
like
was nothing but.
Yeah, I mean, he was just bitching, I think. But just hold on, because World War Hulk could be coming, and we could be getting.
And fam just picked up.
Like you just thought you saw Crazy Hulk.
Yeah, he was like, oh, you can throw a rock a little further than mine. Let me show you. Yeah,
he's still Hulk. He's still there. Yeah, he's still got issues. That's why he stays away from people.
That's why I said. It caught fire before it left the atmosphere and still exploded.
Just showing you how to do it.
That was petty. It was. But it was great. Yeah.
That little fight, that little scrap they had, it was nice because like there were no punches thrown. No. It was just shoving and.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool that when she figured out the whole Hulk slap thing. I know there's a better word
Thunderclap.
for it. Thunderclap. Hers was slightly weaker.
Yeah.
But
she could do it
because
frequently.
she's more on her toes than he does.
Yeah.
And so she started doing it, and it basically turned into like that sonic cannon.
Yeah.
And it was messing him up.
Messed up his equilibrium. Thought he was like dip. Yep. Where hers was just sheer brute force.
Yeah. So they've got a different skill set and different social sets and mindsets, obviously. Yeah. But so yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't know if you've ever watched any shows like L.A. Law or The Practice back in the day in the '90s. It's got like that '90s lawyer show vibe, you know, Law and Order stuff, all that kind of stuff. Mixed in, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Even though it's going to be episodic, I think she's going to be dealing with a new hero every episode.
And that is fine.
There's still that through line of plot there.
Because I mean, people have to remember. They don't even have to understand this. They got to remember. Saturday morning cartoons they've done this. Saturday morning cartoons. In the 80s and 90s already created extended universes for Marvel and DC. Marvel's it started kind of with X-Men and Spider-Man. Then you started to see that bleed, and Hulk had a show that was a season. Yeah, everything.
Spidey and his amazing friends.
Spidey and his amazing friends. Especially as that, I couldn't talk.
I was gonna let it go.
Yeah, and they were all episodic. Yeah, you had those special 2-part episodes here and there, but for the most part,
Like so good.
yeah, for the most part, you had your villain for the week, whether it's Doc Ock or Hulk dealing with Abomination, or you come over here to the Iron Man show and he's dealing with actual whiplash, and yeah, and that's just how it was. And yeah, there were like little tiny, like you said, through line, like a little bit of one scene here might play a part later down the line, but for the most part, it's just you had to start, you had to end, and then it was going to end right then.
Yep. And then Stan Lee came into the game. Now remember, kids, we saw them back in episode 3.
Ow. Yes. Stan Lee. Yep. And who knows, they could pull out some kooky wacky mess and be like, here's Deadpool. Just out of the blue.
Yeah. And also, I just want to say, like, so Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, but Jen Walters takes it to another level.
Yes.
Because she is fully aware that she is living in a comic book.
Yep.
She rips pages out that she doesn't like and addresses the writers.
Yeah.
She steps across panels, like she like transports herself locations by stepping across panels and things. Like she's got no, she gives no F's. She just does what she wants.
She-Hulk's world, we're just living in it.
Yeah, she's got a whole different skill set.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. So
yeah, I'm really excited for this show. Just the tone is so fun and campy. I love it.
Yep. And it's yeah, just all of it. I feel like, I don't know, everyone might hate this statement, but honestly, superhero shows, it feels better in a TV format. I mean, movies are great. Those big old giant spectacles are all fantastic, but Marvel's been shoving out too many at once here lately.
The spectacle movies?
Yeah, well, not spectacle movies. I say lately, not counting like 2020. It feels like they're having too much going on at once that it's pulling away from those movies, and so they're not as good.
They're kind of nerfing the stories by trying to be in like the event of the week or the event of the month or year or whatever.
And I kind of want them to, like, for at least a year, do one or the other.
Yeah. Slow it down. And I mean, of course, just like in the comics, you've got each character like living their own lives, doing their own things, but they get pulled into the greater storyline and they've got to deal. So we could potentially still like have these shows happening and they be our comics, like each character's comics, and then you save the movies for the big events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I want. Cause then you could dump the money where you need to dump the money, make sure everything's done very tight-knit. Not saying everything needs to be Infinity War every single time.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
But you can still have your big villain that shows up and like that, and everybody ends up having to fight. Like, if it's a movie, they're dealing with an actual, I can blink 3 times and the universe doesn't exist type of threat. Like Kang with an Infinity Gauntlet. Just for saying.
And we see like drips of Kang throughout this series, and then which leads to this series, and we see drips, and it just like we did with the movies before, do with the series. Like with Daredevil, we've got 28 episodes. It just wasn't enough for them. Because it's so thick in plot and substance. Yeah. And there are characters who are like that, who need more to flesh out, who are more.
How many did Moon Knight have?
I think Moon Knight had 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6. It felt. Moon Knight felt. I mean, yes, it got to the story. It established a whole bunch, but it felt like they left it open-ended as all get out for it being.
So, according to Oscar Isaac and I want to say the director, they a couple weeks back they posted on social media that they were in Egypt together again. So rumors are flying, and they kind of soft announced that season 2 is coming.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
if that's what's gonna happen.
I mean,
that's fine.
if you leave it with Jake Lockley, like an end credit scene, like there's no doubt it's not a special one-off.
No,
it's a thing, and that shows like this, like I fully expect to see a She-Hulk season 2, because I think like this character works really well in this episodic format.
Yep.
And then of course she shows up in the movies when needed, all that kind of stuff too.
And then it shows up in the movies, and then this uber long Daredevil season, whenever Daredevil Reborn, if Matt Murdock showing up in this, she can show up in his, and that could take up a couple episodes, and that was that special 2-parter right there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that also would work for contract wise, because one of the things that Kevin Feige said was that they're not going with the long, like 10-year contracts anymore. They're going with like 2 to 3 year type situations. One of the things is that like if you were tied in, like we saw this with Robert Downey Jr., like he was in everything and he couldn't do a whole lot outside of it. And so people just get burnt out. You know what I mean? I mean, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, like they want to do other things. They move on.
Yeah.
But there's still a huge desire to bring him back, to bring this big thing, right? That could be like the comics, like when you have Civil War and you've got like a 6-part comic.
Yep.
And those are the movies.
Yep.
Right? But you've got all the comics in between that are showing what's happening.
Yeah,
that ties it all together and fills in the blanks.
Here.
And even Civil War Part 1 had like this side series where it like showed the journalists and everything, which was really cool.
Yep. Stuff like that. It's stuff like that can like revitalize the MCU. Because I mean, it's not saying the announcements at Comic-Con didn't help or anything. Even with the stuff that's like in Phase 6, it's 2 Avengers movies back to back, but like they're
which seem unrelated.
And you got those other projects that are like peppered in between, and then Fantastic Four starting Phase 6.
And not to mention scheduling conflicts, because if you've got, like for example, like the big plan was to have WandaVision premiere on right before Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, so it just leads right in, and you've got that story just right up there. But WandaVision ended up being the first TV show, and it was like a full year or two before.
A year and a half, yeah.
Yeah, and so it felt kind of I think Multiverse of Madness struggled because of that.
Yep.
So if you're balancing TV schedules and movie schedules to try to build this continuity, just keep it to TV schedules where you've got this one premieres here, that one premieres here, and that arc kind of goes through, and they seem mostly unrelated. They could be one-offs or disconnected, but there's just enough to keep, just like we did with the movies.
Yeah.
There's just enough to keep that plot going, and it gets thicker and thicker, and then you have, like, in the middle of the year or at every quarter, you have like a big character like She-Hulk or something that brings in kind of everybody, or something that can bring in all the cameos and other people show up here and there. And
why did it say 2 minutes? That's weird. Yeah, something like that. Or like if it's at that 6-month part where you got like 3 shows, two. Let's just say two, because that 3 feels like a lot to me. 2 shows at the beginning of the year, kind of spreading to give you a little bit of break, so you're not get that superhero fatigue. In the summer, like June, July, we have that big blockbuster movie, and the 2 shows were like kind of events that little stuff, like you said, peppered in there, lead up into it. Big blockbuster, and then the other shows that happen after are showing some kind
issues. If there's a problem with it cutting in and out, then I'll upload the recording.
yes.
But yeah, so I think that also works for contracts with actors and stuff, where they don't get superhero fatigue in like everybody's show here and there or whatever, you know, and different ones for different purposes and all that. And they're both public defenders,
Yep.
but they have drastically different purposes.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And point of views.
And yeah, so different uses as far as story and plot go.
Yep. Yeah, it's. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else with it. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. I'm really excited for the show.
Yeah. Cause have you? There was a Fantastic Four cartoon, not like the old one. It was kind of like in the early 2000s.
Was it the anime looking one?
Yeah. There was an episode where who left the team? The Thing. The Thing left the team, and they had to find. They wanted to find a replacement because they couldn't be the fabulous.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Fantastic.
And
it just doesn't feel as good.
And she, you know, and Jessica, and they were auditioning folks and everybody, and I said Jessica. Jennifer showed up, and she was hair and bun, glasses, pants, like, okay. And so took them off, transformed, his jaw dropped, and they were like, can you just stay with us forever?
Giant.
Lawyer, but if you need me, call me. And eventually they made up with Ben.
Call
But
me,
yeah.
beat me if you want to reach me.
So, hey, yeah, okay. Oh yeah. Yes. So. But yeah. Yeah. Those fun things like that. That's all I want.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and that I think with the episodic things, that leaves more room for that
Yeah.
type of cameo thing, because like even the Russo brothers, who put together Infinity War and Endgame, like that was such a monumental thing that they basically swore it off. Like never again, unless you do Secret Wars.
Unless you do Secret Wars. God dang it.
Yeah,
Grab
and then
the
they were actually in talks. I mean, now we know Secret Wars is coming, obviously,
Yeah.
but they were in talks with Marvel to do another film, and of course it was probably Secret Wars, because they said that's the
Yeah.
only thing that would bring it back. But they bowed out because of this whole Scarlett Johansson thing.
Yeah.
That where Disney was, not paying her, and the
Which
online.
was stupid.
Yeah, it really was, and Kevin Feige was livid because because it was a Disney thing, not
Yeah.
a Marvel Studios thing, and he lost the Russos over it. So you
Yep.
got to imagine
He was super livid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of thing makes Marvel Studios want to buy Disney.
Yeah.
Like what's happening over at Warner Brothers right now with
Yep.
Discovery. Or just outright buy themselves. I mean, back. I don't know.
His assistant walks in. Mr. Feige, are we moving forward with the plan? No. Disney has one more time to mess things up.
Yeah, if you notice, like he said, "Who's your best friend?" She goes, "Mickey."
So. Ow. She does need a suit. That
Well, eventually she does.
She,
We saw in the trailer.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's with her, the dating scene and all that kind of stuff. She's gonna enjoy it until she can't enjoy it, and then that's gonna be our character arc.
Yep.
And then she's gonna have to, find her new balance, her new normal and everything.
Yeah. Mark Ruffalo did say he doesn't see another Avengers movie happening without her in it. So.
Tatiana Ali, if I'm saying that correctly, the way she plays Kiness and the grounded high five. Oh man,
Jen, I'm your cousin.
Gross.
That's gross. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a nice great man going.
Real talk. Y'all can burn me at the stake later. The Ree's a fun movie, but months later, that looking at it, thinking about it more and more, it's a good movie. It's fine, but for one, yes, it was trying to outdo itself, and
Didn't have Loki.
Didn't have Loki. Didn't have Hulk.
Who is he playing off of?
Yeah, he's playing off of himself and sadness. Yeah.
Too. It's like everybody can't be silly.
And Taka can do sweet things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Taika's he can do anything.
Yeah.
Dude.
And he's Thor and Jane, and then
a little bit more grounded.
Yeah, but still, be wacky with all the fights and powers and stuff. It would have been perfect. It would have yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you watch other things like Hunt for the Wilder People, or even Our Flag Means Death. Like, it gets very silly.
Yeah.
But make you feel all warm and fuzzy in the inside, and then you laugh, and it's this balance, and it just didn't. It felt out of balance.
It did.
Anyways, we're just rambling now.
Here we are.
About the MCU in general.
Let's go ahead and put an axe in this episode. If you're ready.
Yep. And I'll try to figure out what's going on with our connection issues and what happened there. But anyways, all right. Thank you guys for joining in. Thanks for joining us. I was trying to look through all this stuff.
Is that still happening?
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
There's been. I imagine D23. We're gonna hear about that. We got the I Am Groot stuff. We got all that stuff. Black Panther 2 is coming. The holiday special.
Yep. Okay.
I can't believe Phase 4 is almost over.
I can. It's been definitely an aftermath.
Rebuilding phase.
Yeah.
Phase 5 is gonna be lit though.
Phase 5 is gonna be
the next saga already.
The last saga?
No.
Wait, what?
So we had the inking on the next saga, the third saga.
Yeah.
Rumors
which would make 9 phases.
No, I mean like after they wrap up the multiverse thing with Kang, right?
That'll end at 6. That'll end at 6, yes?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then lot 3.
So phase 7 or whatever.
7, 8, 9.
Okay, yeah. Rumors is that's where the mutants and the X-Men and all that's gonna be. It's gonna be all that.
That's gonna be depressing.
Depressing.
Dylan,
how like the Sokovia Accords and all that stuff is going to kind of start to turn into the Genovia.
The registration?
The Mutant Registration Act and everything.
Oh, that's depressing. Because they treat mutants like actual garbage.
Yeah, because I mean, of course, with Ms. Marvel, we got our first mutant, and which is good to know. I mean, that makes me feel better about it. But yeah. Anyways, I could just sit and chat about this for a long time, but yep, we gotta call it quits. We've been talking for a while. So yeah, see you guys next week. Hope that you will join us live 9:30ish on YouTube and whatnot. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so you know when we go live and drop new videos and all that fun stuff. Yeah. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Oh yeah, don't forget to check out the website www.brokendownpicturesno.com. Yes, I'm Dylan,
I'm Quinn.
and we'll see you next time.
Long live She-Hulk.
Captain America!